to Let's Chat, the Tennessee Valley's premier show focusing on lifestyle and entertainment, bringing you smart shopping tips, community events, and the newest trends. Now, let's chat.
Here we go. It is Friday, June 18th, Father's Day weekend facing us here right around the corner. Sunday, the big day. Don't forget to do something special for Dad. One of our favorite fathers, not founding fathers, but one of our favorite fathers is our attorney friend, Gary Massey. Gary, good morning.
Good morning.
You might be a founding father. I don't know.
Not that I recall.
Founding father of the Massey
That's right.
family. Hey, wanted to talk to you, and this sort of story invariably rears its ugly head every few weeks, and it is a topic of elder abuse. First of all, before we get into specifics, what are some of the signs of elder abuse? Whether you're at a conventional hospital, long-term nursing facility, assisted living, there's a common thread about elder abuse.
Well, a lot of people, when they think of elder abuse, they think of actual physical abuse by a caregiver. And so it might be, violence or mishandling of the person physically, or even sexual assault, which happens from time to time. But it actually can be much different than that. It can be simply neglect, can also qualify as elder abuse. But the signs that you want to look for are significant changes in a person's health and in their ability to communicate and respond. And so if a person begins to lose weight, if they're not able to move like they were before, if they're losing balance, if they look drained, if their skin is not the same, if they're not able to talk, if they're not able to form words, if their ability to understand what you're saying or to communicate with you effectively changes dramatically, those are immediate signs that something is wrong and may be the result of a lack of food, lack of water, or some other type of neglect or mistreatment.
Even though the COVID situation has eased up somewhat, it still makes regular monitoring of our loved ones' health care from a distance pretty difficult.
It does.
How do you shorten that distance a little bit?
Well, one of the things that you want to do is you want to be as present as you can. And so if the facility is allowing visitors, you want to visit frequently. But one of the things people need to do is they need to not visit on a regular schedule. You need to vary the time that you go to the facility. Go at a time when the staff is not expecting you to be there. And if they try to stop you on your way in, if you walk in at a time they don't expect you to be there and somebody at the front desk says, "Hey, I need to talk to you for a minute," then get there quick, quite frankly, because they may be trying to cover up something in the room before you have a chance to get there. Be there. But another thing you can do, and you could even do during COVID, is you could hire a professional sitter to go in, and if this person had certain qualifications, then they would be allowed access to the facility, and they could go and sit with your loved one and make sure they were getting the care that they needed. But of course, that's an expense that a lot of people can't afford, and so it can be a really difficult situation.
I hate to bring this up, but the story popped just a few days ago down in Dade County. I believe it was in Trenton. Not just alleged physical abuse to an older resident there, but sometimes abuse by neglect can be even worse. And this happened at a facility in North Georgia. Everybody is involved in this all the way up to the state level. And I'll tell you what, I've known Sheriff Ray Cross in Dade County for many, many years. I have never seen Sheriff Ray Cross as mad as he was about this story. Tell us about it.
Well, apparently this facility was just committing the worst kind of neglect. Apparently, according to the reports, when the sheriff's office arrived, there was only one staff person on duty to take care of all of the residents.
One staff person on duty.
And there are very specific government rules and regulations regarding how many staff members you have to have per resident, and different kinds of staff members and their qualifications that they must have. But what's even worse is there was no air conditioning in the place, and one of the thermostats read above 100 degrees, if reports are correct.
And who had the only air-conditioned room in the building?
The owner, who is apparently the manager of the facility, is in an office that is air-conditioned, but none of the residents' rooms are air-conditioned.
Now, imagine your parents, your grandparents, your aunt, your uncle in a situation like that. You know how hot it's been. Inside, no air moving. Over 100 degrees. Again, let me tell you, I've never seen Sheriff Ray Cross so mad in my life, and I think justifiably so. Is the owner or manager or whatever facing any sort of legal ramification because of this, either under state or federal law?
Well, I don't know that there are any federal charges, but there are state charges that are already pending for elder abuse neglect. And according to the sheriff, they are also looking at other types of charges that they could bring, which I think they could find several. And that's one of the things that's so rare about this situation is that it's very infrequent. You almost never see criminal charges brought. And I'm really thankful to see this brought here, and I'm thankful to see this brought before the public eye, because it's not an isolated problem in one facility. Maybe this facility is worse than almost all others, but there are unconscionable situations going on that I've seen in other facilities, not just in Dade County, but in Hamilton County and other counties as well.
Very quickly, only 20 seconds or so left to answer this. Is the Department of Human Services or Health and Human Services in any way liable for this situation in North Georgia?
Generally not, and probably not, Chip. The exception would be, and Georgia has had a problem with this in the significant past, with children in their custody. But if they have custody, if they have been appointed as the guardian over a person and they don't check on that person, they don't make sure they're receiving adequate care, then they could be held liable. But generally, just their oversight, regulatory function, there's not a private right of action against the government for failing to carry out their regulatory duties, so that means if they don't do their job, we can't privately hold them accountable.
Pertaining to this North Georgia story, we did use the word allegedly, and according to the reports and things like that, we're not convicting the guy automatically.
And I don't personally know, I don't personally have any information about it, just what I've read.
What you and I, and probably several of you, would do if it was our relatives in that particular situation. It's just unacceptable, and there should be a price to be paid for that.
Absolutely.
Gary Massey, thank you so much for joining us. You can get in touch with Gary and the team at Massey & Associates. They are out on Lee Highway. All you have to do is give them a quick call, or you can find them on the website, and that website address is masseyattorneys.com, masseyattorneys.com. We'll be right back.